are still around and we are going nowhere. For as long as Chukwu Okike gives us life, we will be here and we'll be doing our part. So I appreciate everyone who has been able to connect, and I thank you for wherever you're joining from. I say, may Chukwu Okike continue to guide and protect every one of you. I say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greetings according to your time zone. And remember, for those joining us for the very first time, or those that are going to come across our video for the very first time, in this platform, we don't come here to instigate violence. We do not preach hate. We don't attack people or individual. We don't attack any race or religion. All we do in this platform is to present Biafra as the only remedy to the failed state Nigeria. Preaching Biafra under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and the Supreme Commander of our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Okukano. That is where we stand. The foundation led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, upon which Mazi Simon Ekpa built, that is where we stand. And we will continue to preach this message to those who care to hear the truth, to those who has questions, to boldly come up and ask their questions. We are not here to cajole you. We are not here to muzzle you. Neither are we here to force you into what you do not want to agree to. You are entitled to your opinion in this platform. You are entitled to your opinion. Very much entitled to opinion. Freedom of association is what is guaranteed in Biafra. You have the right to join any group, any section you want to join. You have the right to do so. But while you are joining, make sure that you are pursuing the common interests of all the Biafrans. The purpose for which we gather in all the groups, regardless the name you give yourself, the title you give yourself. As long as you're from the old Southeastern region and you are fighting for the freedom of the people, we gather only because of our self-determination. We gather only because of our collective interest. That is why we gather. If not for Biafra, I'm not going to meet with any one of you. If not for the sake of Biafra, we might not find a place to sit together and talk. But for the fact that we have something that concerns us, you and I, whether I know you or not, whether you know me or you don't, there is one thing that puts us together. The suffering we are going through in the hand of the contraption called Nigeria. And our demand is freedom. Whatever title or name you give to yourself doesn't matter. What you're asking for is what I'm seeking for. And if it comes through you, we thank Chukwu Okike. If it comes through me, we thank Chukwu Okike. The most important thing that's we want to be free. Wherever the freedom comes from, we appreciate it, we accept it, and we move on. That is why each time I talk, I speak on the unity of purpose. I will not stop talking about the unity of purpose. And I have gone extra mile every time to explain the unity of purpose I mean. Unity of purpose does not mean that we will agree on the same thing. It doesn't mean that we will have the same opinion. It does not mean that we will be in the same group. Unity of purpose does not mean there will be no disagreement. There will be disagreement. There will be groups. There will be different opinions. But all these opinions, agreement on sections, is leading to somewhere. One particular place, freedom. We want to be free. Every group, every section, everybody that is from the old Southeastern region speaking about Biafra. One thing that unites us is that we are talking about freedom. Except you are not genuinely speaking about it. And how do you know those who are not genuinely speaking about freedom? These are those who channel their energy on attacking their own brother and their own sister, instead of focusing on the real enemy. When you see people channeling their energy, they spend 80% of their time to talk against themselves and spend only 20 or 10% against the real enemy. Of course, when you see such people already, without being told, you know where they stand. They are not for the freedom. Either they are pursuing their selfish interests or for personal gain that they want to make. So they want to continue to prolong the saga, the distraction, the delay to their own advantage. But for those who are genuinely seeking for freedom, you got no business wasting your time to attack your brother or your sister or begin to call names and all that. We focus on the real enemy. We focus on the real enemy. So wherever you're watching me this morning, I welcome you. I appreciate you. And I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiyama, as you join, invite someone else to join. If they kick you out, try to find your way back. Because in this present time, it is not easy. It is not easy. More especially in the genuine Biafran programs, there is a heavy attack on the platforms. Just like it was when Mazen Nandekano was there was a time it was heavy on Mazen Nandekano. They couldn't allow him to operate in any platform. All the platform blocked Mazen Nandekano except X. It also happened to Mazen Simon Eba. He was removed from all the platforms except X. We are still on that time. Today, we are still facing the same attack in all the platforms. So much discouragement that sometimes when you put on your platform, you'll be wondering, a platform that have thousands and thousands of subscribers, and yet your program cannot reach the people it need to be reached. It is not ordinary. But regardless, whatever happens, they will not discourage us. That is why I urge everyone that's connected, whether you are watching on TikTok, you're watching on Facebook, or you're watching me on YouTube where I'm hosting the program, you are welcome. Like the program, share it if the program resonates with you. But if the program doesn't resonate with you, it is not forced. Nobody is forcing you to share. You only share. If the program resonates with you, you share it so that others can join us and get the information. Once again, I welcome everyone that has connected. And today, we are going to be speaking on the breaking news that we saw yesterday. It was a breaking news everywhere. And Biafrans, we are sharing. Everybody, we are all happy with the news. The U.S. House finally have weighed in the case of Mazen Nandekano. The U.S. House demand fair trial for Mazen Nandekano. Finally, the U.S. House is demanding fair trial for the case of Mazen Nandekano. And when we saw that news, it was an amazing information, long expected, and it came just at the right time because Mazen Nandekano has been preparing for his appeal. And his appeal is coming up very, very soon. So when that news came out, it was a breaking news. The U.S. House demands fair trial for Mazen Nandekano. Global pressure is building up. Global pressure is building up. This is long overdue. It is long overdue, but better than not at all. So that is why we need to be happy and appreciate the moment as it comes. And we thank Chukwu Okike Abiyama for making it possible. It is not by might. It is not by power. But Chukwu Okike Abiyama himself made it possible. And this is the fear of the zoo. That is why they have been fighting us relentlessly. This is why they have been using every means available to them to get at us. But we said no. Resolution urges fair trial for Mazen Nandekano. Once again, I welcome everyone that have joined me on this program. Good morning, great Biafrans, friends of justice, lovers of freedom, and supporters joining us from around the world, welcome to today's special broadcast. Please take a moment to like the stream, share it with your friends and family, subscribe if you have not done so already. Every share you make help more people join the important conversation. Today we are discussing a major development that has captured international attention, so it wants hearing and discussing in full. U.S. resolution urges fair trial for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is a significant development because it demonstrates that concerns surrounding the process, human rights, and the rule of law are being discussed beyond Nigerian borders. Every one of us know what transpired in the court, how they manipulated and maneuvered and convicted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with non-existing law, and they took him to Sokoto to lock him away with so many strings attached to the sentence. Today we will examine what this development means, why it matters, why Biafra must remain focused, and why international community must continue paying attention to issues affecting people in the region, Biafra land. Before we proceed, let me make this very clear. Our discussion today is about advocacy, lawful civic engagement, human rights, justice, accountability, and peaceful democratic principles. So you don't misunderstand us while we are going in. It is important we make our broadcast clear because we are in a time where the global community is paying attention. So for every single information you pass online, offline, including the comment section, you must be very careful what you're writing and what you're saying. Our focus is not violence. Our focus is not hatred. Our focus is not division. Our focus is justice, dignity, human rights, and peaceful advocacy. So wherever you are watching us from, as you key in, pay close attention. For many years, we, the supporters of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the followers and disciples, have urged that his case raised important legal, political, and human rights questions. From the beginning, we have been shouting about this, talking about it, speaking about it, and it seems like it's falling on deaf ear. Many have expressed concern regarding due process, detention conditions, fair hearing standard, the broader implication for civil liberty. Now, with member of U.S. House raising concern and urging a fair trial, the conversation has entered a new phase. That is the interesting thing in the case of Biafra today. Nigeria will never escape this time that we are in. And that is why when some of us deviate from what we are doing and you're paying attention and starting, this is a very interesting time. A very interesting time that every one of us need to be very, very careful and focused. This is no longer simply a domestic discussion. The case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the case of Biafra is no longer a domestic discussion. It has become an international issue, attracting wider attention. The importance of this development cannot be overstated. Around the world, democratic societies place significant importance on principle that every individual deserves a fair legal process. This is what we have been saying. Every human being living on planet Earth, regardless who they are, deserves a fair legal process. The idea of a fair trial is one of the foundation of modern justice today. The foundation of modern justice system today is fair trial. Whether someone agrees or disagrees with a person's political view, legal right remains important. This is also applicable to the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. The case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, in a situation where the Finnish authority refused, the prosecutor in Finland refused to admit the evidence against Nigeria for no reason, on a very serious case as charging somebody of instigating terrorism. And the person brought an evidence against the government, and you never admitted the evidence with no genuine reason. So when we talk about this fair trial as the foundation of modern justice system, Finland should take note. And the international community should also push their torchlight on Finland on the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. They should push their torchlight on Finland. Very important. And that brings us to the issue of the international lawyer that we have been clamoring for. International lawyer have been clamoring for support because the international presence is very much, international law is very much important. It's more important than anything you can think about to trigger that monitoring system, to make Finland understand that the world is watching, that they must obey the modern justice system. There's no way you can sentence a man without admitting his own evidence against the accuser. It's unheard before you can. No country in the world plans will allow such system to operate. You must admit evidence against the accuser in a very serious case as terrorism. It is sad, but that is what transpired in the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. So, at the same time, we are calling the United States of America to torchlight the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. And we know we're going to get there. Thank God the international lawyer is in progress. And wherever you are as a Biafran, don't fail to support that very move. Support it financially, support it morally, support it in any way you can. If you truly care about freedom and those who have sacrificed for us. Whether someone agree or disagree with a person's political view, legal right remains important. Everybody must have their legal right of representation, proper representation. This principle applies universally. It applies both in Nigeria and in Finland. Today, many observers are asking important questions. What does this resolution mean? What influence international discussion? This is what people are asking. Will it influence international discussion? Will more governments pay attention? This is questions we are getting from people who are asking, calling and asking online and offline. What does this resolution mean? Will it influence international discussion? Will more government pay attention? Will international organizations become more involved in these cases? More especially, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Will there be greater scrutiny regarding human rights concern? These are questions people are asking online and offline. These are questions that continue to generate discussions. One thing is clear. One thing is very, very clear. The world is paying attention. That is one thing you must know wherever you are. And it gladdens my heart that the world is paying attention. And when world pays attention, conversation change. Whenever the world pays attention on an issue, the conversation automatically will change. And that is why when I saw the news yesterday, I was glad. It was certain that the conversation. You don't know what it means for United States to weigh in a case. It doesn't matter where the case is happening in the planet Earth. United States of America is undoubtedly the strongest nation in the world, whether you like it or not. They are. So whenever they come into a conversation, it changes automatically. When conversation change, awareness grows. When awareness grows, accountability become more difficult to ignore. Do you now understand why we must be very happy on the development? This is why advocacy matters. This is why information matters. This is why public engagement matters. Throughout history, many issues that were once ignored eventually gained international attention because ordinary people continue speaking, writing, educating, organizing through peaceful means. This is why I come online every blessed day. Whether I am the only one speaking, I might be the only one, nobody is watching, I will just come and drop the message because I know there must be a human being out there. Chukwu by himself will know how to transmit the program and it will get to people. This is the source of my strength. What I just read now is the source of my strength, nothing more. The source of my strength, that through history, many issues that were once ignored eventually gained international attention because ordinary people continue speaking, writing, educating, and organizing through peaceful means. Eventually, attention will begin. The lesson is simple. Awareness creates visibility. Visibility creates discussion. Discussion creates pressure. Pressure creates accountability. That is how many social and political movements have gained international recognition throughout history. That is why we don't have to back down, no matter how difficult it is. No matter the attack, the propaganda, the blackmail, no backing down. Now let's discuss another important issue, the question of self-preservation. Let's talk about the question of self-preservation. Biafra must focus on self-preservation. We must. It is a must. We must focus on self-preservation. What does self-preservation mean? To you that is listening, what does self-preservation mean? Self-preservation means protecting our communities. Self-preservation means protecting our communities. It means protecting our family. It means protecting our future. It means investing in education. It means investing in economic development. It means supporting one another. It means creating opportunity for the next generation. It means building stronger communities. It means ensuring that our people remain informed and engaged. Self-preservation is not merely a political concept. It is a survival strategy. It is a survival strategy. A people who preserve their culture, preserve their identity. A people who preserve their language, preserve their history. A people who preserve their economic strength, preserve their future. This is why every community must prioritize education. And educated people are difficult to deceive. And educated people understand their rights. And educated people understand the importance of participation and engagement. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. That preparation begins today as you're watching me. If you have not started, the preparation begins today. It begins with knowledge. It begins with awareness. It begins with unity. Wherever you're watching me from, across the world. Let us be focused. Do not get distracted. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter the attack that is coming from east, west, north, and south, no matter the propaganda, it will always come. But I urge you, don't give up. Stay focused. Never give up. You're welcome, my brother Christian. Thank you so much for joining, bro Christian.
Rachus, my dear brother.
You're welcome.
Order phone on Aputan.
Loud and clear.
Okay, Macan.
Is it?
Yeah. Hey, ọdịrị efe nwanne, ọdịrị efe, but
I
udo dị.
understand.
Onwe efe ka Chineke, ghọtago?
Yes.
Because since January this year ka ọlụ anyị tipịa, ebe a na-alụ bụ
I got you, yeah.
yeah, January. Since then till now, we are just battling it. But like I said, it is well. So the other day, he sent him paste. I just could not. Even yesterday again, I could not because
I understand.
but I pray for you also. I pray for all Biafrans. I pray for our leader, Martin and the Kano Samanekwa, that God will continue to sustain and to uphold because we get there. We are almost there, in fact.
Yes, definitely.
So, only a friend him charge and I don't know, maybe open and look at there. Mwelu key motor, banana motor, because I put a motor more. So, maybe no there. Okay, they're a little bit less noisy. What I go?
Okay.
I think I will be there in about 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But except Mobna Makulo Febe, I don't know. Or Cambodia Azuman Luther there. What do you think?
Anyone that is best for you, you can call back. You can call back. You wrote a log in again. It will not. If it will not disturb you, you can just leave it on there. While you go where, when you get there, you just notify me that you're there.
Yeah, because sometimes when you are walking along, network sees it in some area. But anyway,
Okay.
I could go one place now. So obviously, so for the headline this morning is a thing of joy.
Yeah.
So because more than when, quite frankly, if you observe, I've been in a way like through a gradual process, I've been trying to raise the issue of the fact that all it takes for the right thing to be done by the U.S. administration is to just make a pronunciation, and we will see it happen. Is a long story, sort of. But the thing is, basically, personally, I've been thinking about it in my mind all this while. But again, just like the saying goes, that everything has its time and season, right? If you know what I mean.
Yes.
So, but the thing is, Nnamdi Kanu, I have thought about this. That Nnamdi Kanu, if there's anybody that believes very strongly in existence of the Jewish state of Israel, Nnamdi Kanu is one of them.
Absolutely.
And he's a Zionist. Many of us are Zionists, including myself, because again, if you have to go by the true definition of the word Zionism, is those that believe in the existence of Jewish states of Israel. That is what it simply means. Because a lot of us understands too that there are people that lived in a place, though founded in 1948, but surrounded by the enemies that want to swallow them up. That is a fact. Now, the way they fight to survive, you cannot cap. You simply cannot put a cap on it because but because my ears are so much on the ground, so I see different people, even in the United States, a lot of enmity. People are being persuaded and lured, and kind of they're going. It's crazy. But at the same time, who feels it knows it. So you cannot tell them how to fight because they are the one who is on the receiving end. You know what I go?
Yes.
So now, why I'm saying it is the fact that I was beginning to feel like that Nnamdi Kanu has been abandoned by those that matters the most, by those you think will stand up. Because let me just say this. I don't know if you are hearing me clearly. Huh?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Right. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, knows Nnamdi Kanu. I am telling you the gospel. He knows about his. He knows about his ordeal. The Knesset members, they all know about Nnamdi Kanu. President Trump knows about Nnamdi Kanu. And in fact, Nnamdi Kanu wrote a letter to him about, besides that, his chief of staff, his chief of staff had a company, that works for IPOB. So she knows him, and it simply means that and again, when you go by everything that we've seen in not too long ago, it was just a word of mouth that President Trump, when the Congress people, when they met, and he ordered that the Benue guy that was due for execution should be set free, and he was set free. So, all right. So if you will need a supporter of the Jewish state of Israel, Nnamdi Kanu is at the forefront of it. So, and again, so I thought about this whole thing. I was always thinking about coming to ask this question: that why is it so difficult for President Trump to ask that he be released? Because I know if he said he will be released, we know that without a doubt. Now, at the least, if Trump asks for him to be released, if the U.S. Congress asks for Nnamdi Kanu to be released, at the least, right? At the least, listen to this now. At the least, the Nigerian government will release him and ask him to leave the country, so he can go back to maybe UK or Israel or US or even the Kenya where they kidnapped him from. That can be done, right? That is at the least. But at best, he will be released, and a referendum will be organized, for him and his people, the Biafrans. A referendum will be organized. That is not asking too much. That is simply not asking too much. It will be organized, even if Peter Obi, they want to make Peter Obi president, whatever. It doesn't even matter, right? Biafrans has to now come. I'm talking about Biafra. I'm not talking about Rror or Dudu or anything. No, I'm talking about Biafra. Over about 70 to 80 million people will now come out, and if they say because they want to keep Nigeria one, therefore they're going to make an Igbo man Peter Obi president, fine. Now, Biafrans will have to have a referendum to decide if they want to follow Peter Obi to be one Nigeria, or they want so these things can be done. It's not a rocket. It doesn't take anything. These are the common.
Nobody need to die for it. Nobody need to die for it. You don't need to fight for it.
You see what I mean? So I was beginning to to get pressed by the fact that have this guy abandoned Nnamdi Kanu, the number one championeer of the survival, the existence of the Jewish state of Israel. This was baffling my mind. But of course, I understand the intricacies surrounding it too, because of the British government at the same time. But,